I just could not get enough of that intro. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a wonderful edition of College Football Update. I'm Chelsey Williams, along with the apocalypse himself, Stosh. We here going to give you everything with the smackdown on college football. So we're going to give you some of Week 8, which was crazy, our predictions for our Heisman, some Week 9, which will be crazy, and some more. So without further ado, let's get it started. UCF, Louisville. What did you expect in that one?
You know, I thought Louisville was just going to run right over this game, but hey, it turned out to be quite a good one.
I thought the same thing, too, with Teddy Bridgewater, 29-38 and 341 yards, even 2 touchdowns. The Louisville defense even gave up so much on that UCF offense to the point where they even got touchdowns. Look at this one, 10-5 touchdown, leading it, just having all the momentum in the third quarter. But in that same time, UCF just had some kind of inspirational talk to the point where they were getting 3 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes of the freaking third quarter. What can you say about that? And right here, the defense came out of nowhere. Fumble! They're leaving out presents for UCF. And to the point where everything was falling into UCF's hands, Blake gave in some good touchdowns right here to the 20, 10, and oh, man, he's shaking people like there's nobody's business all the way up to the touchdown. Williams standback made a 30-yard drive for a tie, and Blake brought it in with a touchdown, bringing in that game 35-38, UCF. It was crazy through the whole way, though. I mean, did you even expect that, Stosh?
I did not. I thought for sure Louisville would just walk right all over them, handle them. They're playing an unranked opponent. But you know what? They blew it. They should have just walked all over them. They had their chance, but, if you don't come in prepared, you overlook somebody, this is what's going to happen to you. They'll surprise you and they'll beat you.
Right? Because I really thought Bridgewater was going to add that one onto his Heisman and get a good win on that one. But right here, where the push comes to shove, good pass, but just couldn't take it in. But there was a flag on the play. Everybody was thinking something was going to happen, and Louisville just kept pushing it on. They saw that lead that UCF was having, and not today, they thought. But that's when everything changed right here. This quarterback is something to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked in the draft around 5th round. But, hey, if I was Broncos, freaking Bills, hey, I'll take him.
Hey, the Raiders need a quarterback, too. I don't think Terrell Pryor turned out too well. Hey, take a look at him.
I'll
look at this nice throw right here in the red zone. You know what? This guy's got a heart of gold. Just big old steal.
Seconds left, too. And right here, 27 seconds left when they needed it the most. Sideline. Touchdown. What can the coach say? Look at that face of the disappointed student. I bet you she got out of freaking studying for that one.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
With 4 seconds, last play of the game here, you just got to throw it deep. And is there going to be a miracle in the end zone? And no, it is not. Louisville falls to UCF 38-35. They will be dropped down in the AP polls.
So disappointing. Next up, Auburn, Texas A&M. Everybody thought Johnny Football was going to go ham, but apparently Nick Marshall went there too. Kind of like an old-fashioned Texas shoot 'em. Whatever Johnny Manziel had to shoot right here, this wonderful drive, 10-5 touchdown, Nick Marshall would answer right back. Look at this beautiful play. Drops back, moves out the pocket, throws, sees a man open, touchdown. That's something beautiful. Can you honestly think that Johnny Manziel had competition in this one?
I did. Johnny Manziel is still the best quarterback on the field right here. But, the other quarterback's matching him, throw for throw, pass, run for run. But the thing is that came down in this game is defense. Johnny Manziel did his part. Now can his defense hold up for him in the rest of this game here?
Honestly, that was the truest part in it, especially when it came to the big play in the fourth quarter. Where, not this one right here, but this one was a good one from Manziel. Right here where he gave up a wonderful opening where he came in, touchdown.
I mean, I saw at least 5 Texas A&M defenders right there around the quarterback, and none of them could even put a hand on him. What's wrong with these guys?
Hey, I don't know if it's all that
Hey,
winning in their
Johnny
head.
Manziel right there putting his team on his back and
Hey,
getting it in.
but look at this response right here. They're pushing it through the middle, and that's the worst thing. And look at this flag, right with the touchdown. Come on now.
Oh, this one's really gonna hurt A&M.
Ah,
Right here, boom.
sack.
Johnny football down. He wound up hurting his shoulder. He's been in a sling all week, but he should play this week, hopefully, if he wants to keep his Heisman Trophy. Oh my God! Did you just see that catch?
Oh, it was so beautiful. Look at that instant replay. One-handed bandit right there.
Nah,
Over
nah.
2 defenders. Look at that. Hey, give me that ESPN right there.
Nah.
So beautiful. I heard when he went back to the sidelines, that's all he heard from all his friends right there. It was a beautiful catch. Stanford had all the momentum after that one to the point where they shut down the quarterback for UCLA, giving that one 10-24 Stanford. What a wonderful day for Week 8. You just saw some crazy stuff, some stuff.
Some circus catches. You know what? What really makes me mad though is that catch didn't even make it #1 on SportsCenter.
That
I
was
mean, that's
rude.
a catch of the year right
That
there.
was rude.
But it was
That was rude.
overtopped by the Boston Grand Slam to put him in the World Series. You
Yeah.
got to level it out. But still, that was my pick for #1. Should be staying there as top of the top for a while.
Hey, I couldn't agree with you more. All right, next up on our discussion is our ideas for a Heisman winner. Mine is a wonderful Marcus Mariota, while this guy over here,
Johnny football. Uh-oh.
for me and my Marcus Mariota, though, I mean, you have to look at the silent but deadly type. 2,501 yards, 19 touchdowns, and a passing percentage of 62.4. Quarterback rate of 96.6. This guy can kill you in the air and in the ground. Look at those feet. Those are some crazy feet. He can see what other quarterbacks can't. And you know what that is? Precision to the fullest. I always say the silent ones are the deadliest ones because for Marcus Mariota, he can always find a pocket. He can stay in the pocket when need be, let the little speed demons move where they need to move to the point where he can just throw it ahead of them, or he can find an opening and run it out. Look at all that beauty. Look at Marcus Mariota. Look at Marcus Mariota. That's my dude right there.
You know what? My pick, Johnny Manziel. Let's see. You know what? He was the first freshman to ever win the Heisman Trophy. You know what? He's on pace to do it again this year. He's passed for 2,289 yards, 18 touchdown passes. His completion percentage is 73.36%, and he has a 90.1 QBR rating. And not to mention his legs. I mean, this guy scrambles all over the pocket. He's a defensive lineman's nightmare. I mean, you put a hand on him, and next thing you know, he's gone. Just right here, look. Whoop! He gets out of it. Oh, he scrambles. This is against Alabama. He chucks it up. You know, he shouldn't have thrown that pass. It shouldn't have been completed, but hey, he makes it happen.
Miracles do happen.
He's rushed for 486 yards this year with 6 touchdowns, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. You know what? His team has lost 2 games this year. One against the undefeated Alabama, who is the reigning champion of college football. They lost 42-49. It was a shootout. Manziel threw 39 times and completed 28 of them. 464 yards, 5 touchdown passes, and 98 yards on 14 carries. Auburn, they lost 41-38 in a shootout. You know what? He had 31 completions, 454 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but you know what? With those many yards, it proves to me that he should be the Heisman again this year because he keeps his team in ball games. And when it really counts against big teams, big games, he's throwing for over 400 yards and just putting up touchdowns left and right. Johnny Manziel, hands down, throw aside his offseason stuff, to focus on football and what he does to make his team better. He is your Heisman Trophy winner.
My only question on that one, can you see him play in the NFL? Because you can see all this wonderful stuff. He's leaving out. Be honest with you, he's leaving out of history for A&M. Can he move that to the professional level?
You know what? I think he can. I really do. You know what? Somebody like Jerry Jones is probably wants to keep the Texas boy in Texas, maybe playing for the Cowboys, or Houston Texans need a quarterback right now. Johnny Manziel, he has his fans there. It's like Tim Tebow coming out of Florida. He should have went, to Miami or to Jacksonville. Jacksonville still needs a quarterback. Tebow, call him up. But Manziel would make a good transition over. He's smart. He's agile. He doesn't say die. He's a team leader. He just needs to grow up a little bit and mature because he's showing that with all the pressure on him, he's going out and just partying a little too much. But hey, who doesn't party at 21, right?
I was gonna say something. I can't say that. I can't say that. All right, on to week 9. Because even though the 2 weeks, 7, 8, we had some crazy stuff, we're getting more. My thing for Oregon, UCLA. For Stanford, they were tired and Utah capitalized. UCLA was tired and Stanford capitalized. Will Oregon get tired in this one?
I really think they do. I have it down here. I have UCLA upsetting Oregon 38-35 in overtime. I just feel UCLA has a chip on their shoulder after getting beat up last week against Stanford. So I think UCLA is going to come out, hold that explosive Oregon defense offense down. You know what? Put some points up on the board and come away the victory right here.
I would say that, but just like a duck, if you just go in the water, brush up your feathers, hey, you're still going to fly. So I give it up to Oregon in this one. It's going to be a very close game because even though Stanford gave up a lot of exposure with UCLA's defense, they still have some muscle in there. And that quarterback, he has something to prove. So I won't see it as an obvious blowout. It's going to be a tough game. But as I said, I see Oregon flapping away in that.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you there. We'll agree to disagree. How about that?
Agree to disagree.
All right, on to our next game, South Carolina versus Missouri. This is a big matchup. This is going to be a great game. Two really close ranked opponents in the same division. Chelsey, what do you think about this one?
I'm going for South Carolina just because last week I got to see Clowney at his best, and no doubt he's going to have it again. The other team is going to, have some momentum. Missouri, they're still getting that jitterbug with Georgia and winning and everything, but I'm really seeing South Carolina having something to prove with this one.
I think there's just something in the air in Missouri. I mean, look, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, 6-0. Hey, Missouri's 7-0. There's something going on there in the air for football people, and not to mention the Cardinals are in the World Series. So you know what? I have Missouri over South Carolina, 45-28. Missouri's going to roll through. It's not going to be a problem. They're going to keep rolling, get a pretty high ranking, and hey, might be in a national championship bid if they keep going as strong as they are.
Oh, let's not think that hard.
Hey.
Last one, Stanford, Oregon State. I'm going for Stanford just because all that momentum they had in this last game, it's going to blow on right through. You have the beautiful catch right here. Look at that. One-handed bandit once again. And most of all, Kevin Hogan is in his element again. With his passing and his accuracy getting a little one-upped in the last game with Utah, he really got to focus in this UCLA game. I see Stanford getting that one.
I have to agree with you there. I have Stanford 24-14 over Oregon State. Even though Oregon State's putting a pretty good team on the field this year, but Stanford, they took a beating against Utah, and I think that's their wake-up call, saying, hey, you guys need to step up to the plate, start and beat teams up, pass the ball, run the ball, get back to your physical style like Coach Harbaugh instilled in this organization. Mm-hmm. Stanford is going to walk away with an easy victory here.
I cannot agree with you anymore. So, just for the fun of it, 3 upsets. Who you got?
3 upsets? Okay. Let's start with San Diego State over your Fresno State Bulldogs. I have that one. SDSU's been, they have a chip on their shoulder. Fresno State's taking them a little lax. They'll come up with a big victory there. Then I have Duke over Virginia Tech. You never can count out them Blue Devils because they always come up and get you. And my number 1 upset, Tennessee over Alabama. Yes, I said Tennessee over Alabama. Tennessee, you know what? They're 4-3 on the season. That record doesn't show what they've been putting on the field every week. And Alabama, they're 7-0, roll tide. But, hey, they got to lose one game this year. They'll still make it to the national championship, and this is their one game they're going to lose, Tennessee. How about you, Chelsey?
For me, I got Vanderbilt over the A&M just because their golden boy might not be there, so it might just carry on something right there for Vanderbilt to win. Penn State over that Buckeye band. If you didn't see that Michael Jackson moonwalk on the stadium, you're crazy. I can see something like that. And then finally, I see Mac Brown packing up his bags, losing to TCU, just because I want to see him go. Just because I want to see him go.
Yeah, I think it's time. I also I'm a big fan of Texas football, University of Texas, that is. You know what? It's time for him to go. Bye. Adios.
I mean, he did do some great stuff. Finally, I want to end on a wonderful segment called What You Want. So, Stosh, after all this crazy stuff with gambling, just striking, and all this other stuff, players, should they get played or not, what do you want out of college football?
You know what I want in college football? I want them to settle all this. You know, college football is making out like bandits off of all these players. Yes, they're giving the college athletes an education because they're a student before they're an athlete. But at the same time is a lot of these guys play all the way through, you know, from when they're 5 years old until they're 18, 19 playing in college every single day. They're going to have injuries. They're going to have things like this. Some guys, some of the best players never made it to the pros just because they can't make it through college without their injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So what I feel that the college football NCAA needs to do is to come up with a plan, devise a plan to give players allowances per month and give them percentages of their jersey sales. They can go out and do autographs, but it has to be managed in the right way, not to where they can go out and buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Give them enough money to live. Give them enough money for food, for books, for so their families that, you know, most families are very poor. They can't afford to have them go to college.
Yeah.
Let them live nice in college, and then when they come out of college, they should have a trust fund set up for prior injuries. So when they come out, say they don't go to the NFL, say they want to go to law school, they can take whatever money they made in their trust fund and send it to law school. Or if they have a very bad knee injury, they need surgery, pays for surgery. They just set something up that way to where it's not these players are being paid like an NFL player, but they're still a student over an athlete, but they need to be able to live, and we need to settle all this because too many programs are getting hurt because of this. That's my rant for the day. How about you, Chelsey?
Yeah, I want better facilities for all, regardless if it's Division I, Division II. You cannot have any person's child playing or exercising in spots where there's mold, like water damages within the equipment, none of that. I can't have that. If I was a parent, I couldn't do it. The fact that gambling's team had to do a strike, I would just condone it. Because the fact that a lot of the stuff in there could have been hazardous to somebody. Somebody could have instantly died. I mean, the wall, like where the structural building was slowly collapsing. I can't have that. So if you're going to just take all the money from all the players and just have it for a horrible facility, let's use it for something. I want better stuff for my players because I want them to have the excellent abilities. I want them to have the excellent equipment so they can do the abilities that they can do. That's what I want. But that's what I want.
I like the voice. One day they'll settle all these problems. Still love college football. But so then, you know what, Chelsey, thank you for having me on the show. And if you want to do your little send out.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Staj. And for all my wonderful fans out there, hey, keep the games going and don't miss a game because, hey, it's college football. You can't have anything else. Good night, everybody.
Hey, Manziel for Heisman.
Woohoo. Johnny, nah.